Hello to this week's Paint Along. I went ahead and redid the base coat, so that's, if you're wondering why it looks a little wet, that is why. So we're going to work on the hair though. So these are the colors we've got. This is that base coat, just the darkest shadow. It's blue liner with Necromancer Purple. These two. And this one is just Necromancer Purple, and then a drop of Clear Magenta. It's a single pigment. All of their clears are single pigments. And then this is a mix of Necromancer Purple and Runic Glow. I'm knocking things over tonight. These two. This last one is just a little bit of Necromancer Purple and a lot of Runic Glow, and then all of these, I should say, all of these got a drop of Clear Magenta, just to make sure that we did not move away from that red violet. Alright, so even though this is still a little bit wet, I'm going to go ahead and get that second paint color mix, where it's pretty much just the Necromancer Purple. We'll see how this works. Hard to see on screen. It is pretty close to the base coat color. It is dark and also magenta. I keep forgetting this, so I am probably thinning this down too much because magenta has the pigment itself just lends to being more transparent. So since I did make this, would have basically thinned this too much, I'll get out my pure white and can do some underpainting instead. It's a brand new bottle, so I gotta really shake it up. Pure white. I'll put just one drop of water into 4 drops of the pure white. I won't go over what I've already painted on that side, so we'll go on this this side. This will just do a little comparison, I guess. Let's see if we can get more focus. Here we are. Anything that we want to show up more, we'll paint white. This model has some really nice, fun, flowing hair. So definitely a really good opportunity to learn, get used to painting hair. If that's something that you struggle with, there's lots of hair on this one to try and get better at it. Great. I want to be able to have a chance to try and at least get part of this mostly done. So we'll go back to that second color, second paint mix here. You can see what I'm talking about, that magenta colors the things with magenta pigment is just naturally gonna, I only put 2 drops of water into the, let's see, it ended up being about 5 drops of paint. And normally that would get me to being able to do layering. Whereas with this magenta color, it's actually kind of working more like a glaze. So it's thinner than what you would want for layering, and hence why it's not really showing up at all on this side. So if you make that mistake like I did, or forget like I did, actually is what happened, I'm showing you exactly what you can do to fix that mistake. You can just underpaint with white and work with what you mixed up. You could also add more paint to your well. That also is valid. Get everywhere that I put that white down. You see how that shows up so much better compared to I did this side over here. You can hardly tell. I'm gonna go ahead and do a second coat because I don't want it to be vibrant magenta. You still want it to be a little more on the darker side. Alright, so you can see by using the white underpainting too, you still get little spots of that shadow color still in areas, even though I am doing basically a couple glazes over top. Now I may have to just keep doing that since I had thinned everything down what I normally do for layering. So may need to, yeah. So I'll need to come back in with that white again, even for the next, for each successive paint mix layer, because of the way that I thinned them down. I'll just gradually make the highlights smaller and smaller through the underpainting. There. This is where you definitely want to keep in mind where the light is hitting it. And also this is a good thing to keep in mind too is how curly hair works, how light works on curly hair. Every little curl, there's going to be pop of a highlight. There's going to be, compared to doing like more straight hair, you're going to have more areas that you're going to put a shine on. And it is easy to overdo it, unfortunately. So you just kind of have to play around, get a feel for what works for the mini that you're doing. It's a little bit easier when it's this size, the scale. There's a bit more room. When it's a 28 millimeter, that's a little bit harder because all the curls are quite a bit smaller. Okay, now for the next layer of highlights. I'm gonna keep it more on where I did the white for the most part. I'll go slightly beyond, like on either side. And that will help kind of blend things. the final little highlighting, so let's do just little dots. For the most part, much smaller. Here, look at and you know, this is also a great way to just easily do hair in general when you're not used to doing like what's the word? When you're not yet very good at mixing the proper colors and stuff and blending them well, this is a way to really get those kind of smoother blends. But a little bit easier. It does require you have a pretty decent brush that can hold a point so that you can actually get these fine controlled brush strokes with the white. I mean, with the actual magenta paint mixes, they're just glazes, so it's not as important. But with that white, it definitely is important. And again, I'm just staying mostly where overlapping a little bit where the white is, like I did before. Figure out this side first time. I thought I had that on. So there we go. And even though she kind of is leaning forward, just for more of the artistic choice, I probably would go ahead and just maybe highlight the sides of these, kind of more for the sake of color composition, just because otherwise it kind of gets lost. And if you, a lot of the picture is most likely going to be head on. That's going to be one of the main poses, is like this, that you're going to take pictures, or that I would. And currently, like right here is the only thing that's highlighted, that you can see highlighted. Now, I mean, you go to one of the other poses and you'll have all of this. But in front, there's not much. So I would actually suggest doing everything that we just did. All that. And doing it kind of basically just that kind of that sticks out here in the outline. This here, down here, and even like a little bit inside, just not taken up like all the way. Actually, I can just go ahead and do it real quick because I would just do one layer since it's not going to be something that would actually get hit very hard by light. I mean, if you look at people's hair, curly hair and stuff, you can go on my Twitch streams. I have curly hair, so you can see. Even from the front, you can see some definition, even in the curls that are in shadow. I'm just doing that first mix that's mostly Necromancer Purple with just a drop of the Clear Magenta, that mix. And honestly, if I were doing this the way I normally do it, with layering instead of the glazing and underpainting method, I would do this layering as well, where I would use at least highlight with that next shadow color, which is what this is, essentially. Do there too. But see, you can see how that already looks a lot better. Looks more natural, more realistic. You can tell like this is the stuff that it's obviously getting hit up, like with more direct light, and then this is kind of more of indirect light in shadow. There we go. So after this, I think next week we'll for sure be able to finish up. I'll probably just we'll see if I remember the facts about magenta, using magenta. Otherwise, we will do some more of the underpainting and glazing method. We'll see what I remember. But we'll finish up, try and finish up the hair next week. So there you have it. Have a good week. Bye.